Hello and welcome back to Crafty Magic Arts and Roll for Pony. Today we're going to roll a d7 and we get a 2, which is Generation 3. And then we're going to roll a d8 and we got a 5, which is AppleJack. That's our customization for today. So here's an AppleJack pony, good starting place, but I'd like to check to change it up a little bit, get rid of this gross hair, and maybe add a proper cutie mark. Wouldn't that be nice? Now the hair does have to go, so that's the first step. Well, let's choppy chop. Off it goes, as well as the head. The head is off, and I had to slice into the scalp to get rid of all those beautiful hair plugs, as well as cut into the neck to get rid of the tail. It is a brutal process customizing. Now the little Gorilla Glue can't fix, and now the head is back on, but now it's time to get rid of all that nasty paint. So off it goes. Cutie mark and face is gone, but the neck is now officially secured as well. We don't want it swiveling about, that'd make it difficult. So, the pony's ready. Now it's time for some wire. This is the armature for the hair. I will be using moldable plastic for this again, so I need a place to put it. It looks good this way, and I think it's a great starting base for, like I said, the moldable plastic. This is awesome and easy to use, and here it is. It is a little bit challenging to film though, so if you are interested, please let me know and I'd be happy to show you. I also added some different products to cover some of the creases that I added onto the piece to make sure it was a nice smooth transition, and also allow me to paint great big eyes. Speaking of which, here's paint. But let's not focus on that. You might notice the thermoplastic head is a little bigger than it was before, and that's because AppleJack needs her hat. Where's the hat, you say? Well, let's look back, and here is a beautiful hat we found online for free, but it is not the correct shape, so with a little bit of magic, here is the correct shape for AppleJack's hat. It's looking much better. Now all we need is to get it off of this computer and onto the physical form, which it is right here. This is 3D printed using my resin printer with water washable resin. This stuff is a delight. Don't have to work with nasty alcohol to make it work. I absolutely love this stuff, and it comes out really nice. So this is the hat that will be now with AppleJack, and I am super pleased with how it's looking. But now it needs a little bit of paint. As you can see, I have now created a beautiful orange and a beautiful yellow to match AppleJack. And I've even marked out some of the lines for her eyes. Ah, but there's something missing. All right, her hat. Here it is again. It is beautifully painted as well and still fits. When you're doing layers of paint, it's always good to check to make sure it continues to fit, to make sure the paint hasn't caused some sort of unnecessary friction. And it seems to be working well. But now it's time for a little bit of watercolor pencils. And paint, apparently. I did this all out of order. You saw I used pencils earlier, and now I'm using paint now. Who knows what I'm going to do next? It's magic, really. But you can see the eyes are beautifully painted on there. I wanted her looking off to the side because I didn't want her to appear cross-eyed. Now using pencils again, I actually mark out all the different lines on her tail and hair. I am not that confident with a brush, so I decide to mark it out with pencil, and I think I'm going to do that for most of these. And I also did the same thing with the hat. Mixed media art anyways, so it works out well. She's looking really good, but she does need a little bit more detail, so I pick up a little detail brush, and I go straight in for the eyes. Now she's got pupils and eyelashes, and she's looking really good. Some more detail work is required though, so it's time to go back in and work on her cutie mark. On both sides. You'll actually see that the apple were drawn on previously, but now they're marked out fully with paint, and they are looking really cute, exactly as they should. Now she needs a little ribbon on her life, and it goes around her tail and her mane. It's a little bigger than intended. In the show, it's really narrow, but it does actually look really good. And I like that it's a little bit of extra texture. So she's looking good. Now it's time for her whites of her eyes and her adorable little freckles. So she's got her freckles, she's got the whites of her eyes, and she is looking just like AppleJack, and I am super stoked. Her hat is now permanently adhered to her head using some really strong glue, and now she's officially ready for the barn. And with that, AppleJack is done. I really hope you liked this little project. I like taking these little toys and bringing them to life and making them a little bit more interesting than they were previously. I think this toy went from being pretty boring to pretty awesome. Thanks. Bye.